Hello, welcome to this video with us today. Today we are doing something slightly different than nail art or other things I've brought to you. We have here a wood burning set that we got from Dollar General. I got this template of this bird and branch, and that's what happened. That's what came out. We are putting together Christmas ornaments for our extended family and friends this year. And I got these wonderful little blocks of wood from Hobby Lobby. And my daughter is with me helping me with this. And she was begging, can we start this project? I was like, sure, why not? Let's get into it today. So right after we got done with school, I was teaching her the safety of wood burning, and we were just having so much fun. So we're going to share that with you. Here she is getting it all out. It came with 2 tips, extra tips, more detailed tips for lines and straight edges, and then there was one that just did other details that came on there. These ones are a little bit more difficult to work with, but the one that was on the wood burner was the most easiest one, the first one, and they twist in and out. Very easy, very easy. And this wood burning set came with a stand, and that was really cool. I liked the stand. It was very light, and you just I took some clear packing tape and I taped it to our table. As you can see here, I had a lot of fun drawing out that bird and branch. So this wood burning set at Dollar General was like $12 and change. Well worth the money, very much. It goes to degrees of 716 degrees, and it just gave you all the directions on how to tape the stand to the workspace and try and keep your hands away from the hot tip. I had a wood burning set when I was about my daughter's age, about 9, and yes, I had burned myself a couple times with it, but it was so much fun. I loved the smell of the wood. This was like all the wooden blocks I'd gotten from Hobby Lobby, and they're so inexpensive. So you can use water decals on these and it will stick, and you just put shellac over the top, and so you can put family photos on these, hang them up with just a ribbon and a string, and you have gorgeous Christmas decorations. So there's the clear packing tape with the stand, and we had an extension cord. Our wall sockets are a little bit further away from us, so we did that, and it did not get hot. The cord stayed cool, and we just waited a few minutes for it to heat up. You could smell it heating up. She was really intrigued by that. I apologize for the road noise. My kids are watching a movie inside, so I am voice recording in my vehicle in our parking lot outside of our house. Things you do. And here, just showing her how to just run over the lines. I am not a good enough wood burning person to where I can just freehand it without some type of guiding. So having a stencil, having a picture to go by really helps. And my 2 turned into a Z. Especially when I'm holding the camera and trying to do wood burning with my other hand. It's almost impossible, but it got there. I steadied it with my pinky finger right there, and it worked out okay. I mean, for a Christmas ornament that's going to be seen once a year, not too bad. So this is what we're planning on doing. Please like and subscribe to our little channel here on YouTube, as there'll be other projects that we are doing throughout the year. With homeschooling, we are trying to do tenting, and we have some neat other things that we are doing. And it's not all going to be about nail art, although that is like a mommy thing, my little quiet thing. There are other things that my family does that we enjoy, and we are just branching out into little art projects that will help keep us occupied throughout the winter and learning new skills. And so this detailed tip was a lot. It was very versatile. It helps with lines. You can go around corners. And then this is where I'm passing it off to her to try. As I showed her how to do it, she picks it up. I told her it was just, you just hold it like a pencil. At first she was concerned about the heat, and it's like, well, you don't touch that part. You use common sense. Once a child gets a healthy respect for something that could, you tell them the dangers, you show them how to properly use something, they can do really well with art things like wood burning. She did really well. She liked the smell of it. We have a pellet stove, and just the wood burning smelled so, I don't know, like the holidays with wood burning and all that. It just smelled so good. And she's like, Mommy, it smokes. I was like, yes, it does. So here we're making another one, showing how we use the stencil. And the stencil can be used in so many ways. You can use painting on these pieces of wood. You can like dab it with painting and do so much detailed work with painting. I mean, there is so much you can do with stencils, a block of wood. The options are endless with this. And so my daughter is videotaping for me right here. She gets bored easily, and sometimes it's like, stay focused. And then here's where you just attach the lines and you make the picture with more details. I noticed that as I was thinking about the design of our block, I should have put 2021 at the bottom because of the bow, and I wanted to do little baby pine cones that we have in our yard from our pine trees and put those at the top, and the date would be covered. So the 2021 was actually a mess up on my part. It should have gone down below the bird. So here we let it cool, and we decided to try this line tip, and it was a lot more difficult. Her hands got tired with doing this line. If you wanted to just save time, just use the detail tip that's more rounded, where you can do just about everything with that. And here you can use it in every which way, but we found it was a little bit more, it took a little bit more patience with this line one. It wasn't as versatile as the others. It's still very good, but in order to change tips, you have to wait for it to cool down. and then your project takes longer. I, who are still working on my patience level. Oh, but we had to try out the tips. We had to like just play around with this. And I told her it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing, as far as art, is truly perfect. To be a perfectionist is really doesn't quite work. So giving her the opportunity of learning and having the freedom and saying just try it, just don't worry about mistakes, or even if you think of it's a mistake, it actually is very rustic to where it looks good no matter how you do it. What you may consider a mistake, someone may look at and say, you know, that's part of the picture and it's beautiful. Sometimes our perfectionism keeps us from accomplishing the end goal. And as one lady said on YouTube, better done than perfect. And I've taken that to heart. It's good to have your goal met. It may not be totally perfect, but you've met your goal. And look how that little bird just looks like he has chicky fuzz all over him. Because of those mistakes, it looks like a real bird. Now, getting my twos to look like twos with a wood burning set was such a challenge. They always turned out like Z's, but hey, everybody knows what the date is, hopefully. So we're trading the camera off and she's finishing up. She wanted to do the upper date, the one on top. And I was like, sure, go ahead. But we just didn't want to change tips and wait for it to cool down. So she's doing her best to try and make this tip work with going around these numbers. She did really good. And here we did a mountain scene. I tried copying the mountain scene from the package, freehanding it, and we changed the tip to a smaller line tip, but it was still not as versatile as the first tip that we had. Her hand got tired, so she decided to videotape, and then I would, well, it's not videotaping anymore. I'm dating myself. Although that's what we used to say, alright? Taping. It is so sad that VHS tapes, cassette tapes, all those things, it is hard to find players for those now. But I digress. We are talking about wood burning, not media. Although I must say, we had a classic car. It was a Cadillac from the 70s, and that had an 8-track player in it, and we had 8-track tapes. So cool. So I had 8-track tapes, I had cassette tapes, I have records. I have old-time radio shows that go back to the 30s and 40s on cassette tape. And I have record player, but my tape cassette player has started to eat my tapes. That's discouraging. love old vintage things. See, that was the picture, and I tried to make it look like that on the wood. Not quite as good as what they have, obviously. But hey, we tried. So these are the 3 ornaments that we accomplished, and this is how they got done. And it turned out beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us today.